Page 13, question 3. Okay. Nasha, do you come from a large family or a small family?
I come from a large family. There are
Mhm.
7 of us.
Do you have any children?
No, I'm single.
I'm still single.
Really?
Do you live alone or with your parents?
I live with my parents, but I have a friend now. Currently, I live with my friends, but because I'm, worry about my parents most of the time, so I go to sleep with my parents because
Mhm. What do your parents do?
my parents, both of them are retired, and one of them works for it in a tax office. My father worked as a tax officer, so my mother was a teacher. So both of
Betty.
them now retired.
Are retired. Do you live with any of your grandparents?
Uh, I used to, when I was young, I used to be with my grandmother
Mhm.
for 3 months in the summer. But these days, because I don't have a time to see my grandmother, so uh, that's that's not the stories happen for now. The same story for now.
Are your parents strict?
My parents sometimes, but not for most of the time. It's sometimes on and off. Sometimes they are very easygoing people, but sometimes they are strict. They are strict.
Do you get along well with them?
Because these days every parents think their opinion are different from next new generation. So I cannot say I'm well well behaved with them. Well, we are not we don't have the same opinion. But
Mhm.
I want to be a take a distance to not talk about much more things. So it's good for us.
What do your parents do in their free time?
My parents, my father, most of the time goes to garden, so he love garden and be with the trees. But my mother loved to be at home and I don't know cooking or other things. I don't know her habit at all.
So my father likes, my mother loves. Huh? This is important. Who do you look like in your family?
Everybody in my family, compare me with my grandfather because he was very, very hard-working person and also very powerful. So everybody also he used to work, to rock climbing. So now I'm a rock climber, professional rock climber. So it's
Really?
yeah.
Congratulations. Very good. Great. My brother-in-laws are in this. One of them is a rock climber, another one is, the others are mountain climbers, and my father-in-law as well. And one of my wife's nephews is a professional rock climber. It is interesting. It's a very nice sport, and I don't know. For me, it's very difficult. I can't, but you are.
2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, someone, a girl, died because of the rock climbing in Ainali. But it's because
Mm-hmm.
I imagine she was careless,
Mm-hmm.
hard to get injured.
Yes. Yeah, it is one of the, yeah, sports that can even result in death, but you should be very careful and equipped to do it. Okay, tell me about your family members.
You know, I come from a family members, which is who is it right or which is,
Who is?
yeah, who is, we are not very, be sentimental. So sometimes we try to be, have a distance. So because of that, sometimes we are, relaxed. But for me, especially for me, it's not the same because I I want to be careful about my parents. However, even my father, most of the time tells, "I don't want you care about, you think about us." So it's because my father wants we will be independent. Yeah, so I imagine that's true for my three brother, but for me, it doesn't work.
Oh,
However, I imagine I one day I will do, because I want to go to foreign country. It would be happen for me. Uh,
it would be happen. It would happen to me.
it would happen. It would happen for me. So I will go foreign country and I cannot see my parents for a
Yes.
long time.
So, do you mind it? Is it difficult or easy for you?
You know, uh, I imagine it's easy because when I was in military service, uh, so I went to military service without thinking about my parents. So I imagine it's easy for me. But these days, because my parents, are getting older and older, I I want to care about them. But I imagine my older brother came back from Turkey when I want to go to foreign country.
Hmm.
And,
Yes, because you have other brothers and
yes,
sisters, you know.
yes.
At the moment you take care, how old are your parents?
My parents, one of them 70 and one of them 65. My mom and both of, but my father look younger because he he don't care about anything. Most
Does
of the time, he has lots of friends, so talk with them and rich people around him because he was a tax officer and they
Mhm.
want his knowledge. So he never get tired and he never all the time he find the person to talk to him and it's easy to him to stay younger.
It's important. It's very important. When a person is carefree, this person can live longer. Just my idea.
Absolutely.
How often you and your family members get together?
Yeah, that's a long time. For example, my older brother for a year didn't see my parents. So we can I cannot say for last year, but a year ago we had a close family. But after my sister married, it's get a problem for us.
Mhm.
So everybody separated each other, and you know we cannot find any person in our house. I don't know why.
Yes, it is not good. You need to
Yeah,
marry and make the family a little bit crowded, Yasha.
yeah. No, but my sister married, and everybody wants to run away from our house. So I don't know why.
And how often does your sister come to visit you and your parents?
Uh, every 6 week or maybe more.
And
Yeah.
does she stay here for a long time or not?
No, that's for 3 days or maybe 2 days, and then came back.
Does she have any children?
No, that's it. That's a year.
Mm-hmm. Aha, she married last year.
Yeah, last year.
Because, yeah, sure, my wife is from another city, she's from Mahabad, and I usually go and come back. I know it is not very easy to manage, you know, going and staying. When she comes here and stays, her husband is alone. When her husband is here, he has a job and he cannot let me know stay here for a long time. They have to go back.
Yeah, absolutely. My
Yes.
brother-in-law also lives in Urumia, so
Mm.
that's same
Yeah,
story.
you talked about that yesterday, the day before. Yesterday, you told that your sister married a person in Urumia, and it is not very far from Tabriz. However, just it's not very easy to come and go and these sort of things. So yeah, you are right. It is sophisticated. How much time do you manage to spend with the members of your family?
I want to, reduce the time of the talking with my parents because, they have a traditional opinion, and I don't want to argue about it. So when I talk about it, it's get, get, I don't know, this is controversial, get something that is not, that's not solvable things. We cannot solve anything, so we get argue. So that is not good, and I imagine I have to, uh, keep my opinion for myself and just say, okay, I think you are right, and that's a great way to solve anything.
Yes. It is not bad. Sometimes we find ourselves in the middle of some events. At first sight, it is not very interesting for us, it is bothering. But later we see that it made me more independent, more mature, it is very, very important. This maturity comes sometimes when we are rejected, and it is not bad in my idea. What sort of things do you do with the members of your family?
Could you tell me in another way? I can't understand the meaning of that.
Hmm. What do you usually do with your family members? What
You
kind
know,
of act?
you know, last year when my elder brother was, he's a funny boy. Everybody wants him. So when he was in house, we loved to talk to each other because he make a fun. And everybody wants him. Not only my parents want him, but also everybody in our neighbors, also his friends, follow him because he's very funny and he talks very, in a great way. So everybody wants him. Also, he's very smart, very very smart. So I imagine uh, uh, if he was if he is in our house, it would be very we have a close you know
Relationship. If he,
relationship. Also, we
if
talk
he
for
were,
everything.
if
What?
he were, if he
Yeah,
were, not if he
yeah,
is or was,
yeah. If he
he
were here, it would
was, we
be
would have a very close relationship with each other, huh?
yeah, it would have a close relationship with each other. But these days, because I don't want to argue, because I am a arguable person.
Really?
I'm not. Yeah, uh, you know, I argue everything, and because I love to be a philosopher also.
Mm,
So sometimes I study about Aflatun. I don't know other
ethics.
uh, what? Could you repeat?
Ethics?
Yeah, ethics and yeah. So I follow these things. So sometimes when somebody without any knowledge talk about something, it's it's for I cannot stay uh, out of the topic. So for me, it's not good to talk with my parents. But when my brother was with us, so it's a totally different story because he made it everything funny, so we can talk with each other.
Uh, I want to add, because you told that you argue a lot, or I don't know, maybe you nag a lot, you criticize everything maybe around you. And are you an aggressive person or not?
Sometimes when somebody, I'll listen to everyone carefully, but if somebody, interrupt my, you know, uh,
Speech.
conversation, I get angry because I want to, the same respect I respect to him or her. So uh, I get very, very angry, and I cannot stay with this type.
So I will try to interrupt you while speaking to make you angry, Yashar, from now on. I didn't know about. Thank
That's
you.
that's when that's get warm discussion about something, and they don't have a knowledge. Most of the time, lots of people in Iran, all the time I talk about it. In Iran, lots of people without knowledge talking about something, and for me, very it's hard to me.
I am making you angry step by step. I like it, Yashar. Yashar, let me tell you something. Uh, I used to be a very idealistic person, very idealistic person. I was like you. Um, I have, I had, I don't have, I had problems with people's driving, with their walking, with their talking, with their walking, with everything, you know. Uh, I wanted to have an ideal world around me. We can make a very good country when we have some standards and people follow these standards. But when I go to the society, I see drivers are crazy, people are stupid, we don't care anything. They eat and they throw their garbage on the street, or while driving, they throw it on the. Or some people these days, I really hate it. They put their garbage on the back of their car and then they drive to go to the garbage can, and finally they forget and they drop it on the middle of the street. These sort of things made me really angry, angry. And some wrong behaviors that people have toward the female generation in our country. A woman is waiting for a taxi, and a lot of people come and they show bad behavior. About this, I am still sensitive. I show reactions. But about other things, I just smile. It makes me
I
angry.
can. Your past story, works for me, but
Yes. About yeah, sure. These days, I don't know. Maybe I am getting 40, but I'm getting more mature. I don't speak very much these days. I look at people and I see that for their correction, we need to correct a generation, not one person. and we cannot just talk and make that person accept it. They wouldn't do it anymore. Maybe you ask me to do something, I say yes to you, but when you are not here, I wouldn't do it because this change should be fundamental. I believe that for correcting all these sort of things, it is impossible to come and speak, argue with someone and ask that person to do it. Forget it very easily. Think about correcting the next generation. How is it possible? Through education, it is possible. So first, we should have some educated people as teachers. And these teachers should know the norms of the society first by themselves. I used to teach in some of the best schools in Tabriz. 80% of the teachers over there are there because they wear beards and they tie their, I don't know, the last bottom, and they go praying and demonstration on 22nd of Bahman. They are not teachers. They don't know teaching. They Their behavior is different with them. And that's why you shouldn't expect the new generation to be different. But I can say that I have some friends who used to be my school students in first grade, second grade of high school. Can you imagine?
Yeah, yes. But that's the one side of the, I imagine educational system should be, funded with government to, to support students with psychologists because it's important. When you are a child, you have to see psychologists, and it's important because some people when get a low grade in the school, they have some problem, and that should solve. Maybe that's 80% of them maybe solved. So also some people because of the parents bad behave, or maybe in the environment bad behave, get some trouble in the future. So we face some problem. For example, criminals, when you can when you want to listen to them, they argue about their child time, when they were a child, and they have a trouble. So by choosing this problem, we can solve lots of problem in the future. Next generation needs some psychologists, also eye doctor, dentist, because everybody, I think 80 to 90% of Iranian have a tooth problem. This
Mhm.
problem, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So because of that, I imagine that's important for future. We don't have this type of problem. It is essential. Maybe some parents are careless about their children. So government should care about it because the amount of the money we spend in the future for the healthcare system is much more than now. We want to care about child. So, uh, for example, when I was in the school, uh, we have just we don't have any knowledge about the brushing teeth. We don't have any of them, but we have Quran, Dini, or other type of the books. But even one page for doesn't didn't exist for brushing teeth. Or if you have a eye problem, you can call you can call someone in a school. I have an eye problem. So this is a very huge problem for us. Also, in a developed country, also we have the same problem. When I talk about it, some people say that is impossible, but it's possible. If if a mandatory amount of money to gather some
It's
physicians.
possible. Yeah, sure. Everything is possible. I just want to say that for correcting, we need to correct from the foundation. For example, now I have some problems with you and I just come and talk. You may accept it or reject it. So what happens in the society? Nothing. But education is very important. Education is for the government, yes, but uh, I don't know whether you accept this or not. I believe that there are some hands in this country who purposefully, with a plan, are destroying the education system of this country in order to destroy the country's future. This is my idea.
Yeah, because they are not well-educated people, so they need some fool person for the future to control them in the future. Yeah, if read a Republican from a thesis, the Aflatun, I don't know the name is English. If you read that, you can understand all things about the government ruler. They don't want, well-educated people for the future. You know. Also, they created, illegal and legal things for control the community. You know.
Mhm.
This is
Controlling.
yeah,
But I believe, again, I believe that I need to separate. When we say government or regime, imagine that there are 100 people who are in top. 100. Out of this 100, five or six are some people from other. There are some people who are managed from other countries, like England, the United States. So these five and six people made their group and group and group, and they are planning to destroy this country. But those 95% don't know about it. They believe that Reza Heravi is the best person in this government. No, you should think about it. You should study their behavior. For example, what happened when, for example, Mr. Ahmadinejad was the president of this country? You should ask him to come to the court, and the judge should ask some questions, and he should be able to prove that he didn't betray the country. Otherwise, if he couldn't prove, he should be executed. This is my idea. Ahmadinejad is a person that we know. Now, go to the lower rankings. The manager of this bank, the head of this bank, the manager of the blah, blah, blah. Why did you decide to make Reza Heravi, for example, the manager of Melli Bank, and you didn't know that Reza Heravi is going to embezzle and escape and flee to, uh, I don't know, Canada? You should find an answer here. If I cannot find Khavari, I can find the person who somehow installed him in that position. Should answer. This is my idea, but I believe that no, there are some hands in the government purposefully, with goal, with plan. They they are destroying the country's infrastructures, and they started from the educational center because education is the key of success for all governments and countries. You know that Hitler kept the teachers. When there was a war, Hitler kept the teachers in the safe place, so that they are going to make our country again after the war. And he
50% of the Nobel Prize comes from Germany when he wants to, attack other countries. 50% of, especially, physics or, chemistry or other, yeah, comes from Germany. Most of them, you know, these days the new fifth or sixth generation, fighters, uh, the ideas comes from Germany. So that's still is, um, fighter comes from Germany. Also, a year ago, the Minister of Education in Turkey said we don't have oil, we don't have a gas, we don't have anything, but we have a well-educated people. So I love this phrase, but I don't think they are well, prove this. But the, the, the, the phrase is very important for me.
Mm.
Well-educated people is important than gas or oil.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And this is what they are doing with us. Anyway, next question. Where do you live?
I live in Tabriz. That's the fourth big cosmopolitan city in Iran. That's the biggest city in northwest of Iran. Uh, that's
Do you
the
like do you like it?
I like it, but because of low salary, I cannot stay here. I love it because my friends live here. My friends live here. Also, my family here living. So it's not only it's beautiful city, but also my I was born here, so it's it's a very important city for me.
Not only is it a
It is,
beautiful
yeah, inverted, yeah. Not only is it beautiful city, but also it's you know my city, the city I was born, so it's important for me.
what is your hometown like?
My hometown, it's uh, my hometown is very, special city in Iran because that is close to mountain. And in a Friday, most of the people go to mountain climbing. Also, we have a river in the lie in the valley, so uh, it's beautiful. But after these days, because of the Oslo,
Fazla Swain.
that's get problem. That's get problem, and it smells too bad. But however, we manage it. We can handle this bad smell, and also that's the central city in northwest of Iran, and everybody for hospital problem comes here because we have lots of hospital with well-developed hospital. So uh, we don't have a problem with other, that's everything close to center, and you can easily go. The traffic these days rising by, rising car users. So that's it.
Okay.
Imagine.
When they say what it was very good, I liked it, but don't go to the details very much.
Yeah,
Huh?
absolutely. Because it's hard to, explain the details. Sometimes I imagine I have to be, I have some, uh, I don't know, big, without any detail, I talk about everything, so it's easy.
Mhm. You shouldn't talk about details in section one. In section one, it is the short topic section, short answer section. You shouldn't give long answers. If you give long answers, it is not welcome, and you are going to lose your score. So, my recommendation, not more than 3 to 4 sentences, not shorter than 3 to 4 sentences. Where are you from? I am from Tabriz. It's not enough. But as you answered, it was very good answer. Well, I'm from Tabriz, which is a metropolitan in northwest of my country, Iran. It's a very beautiful city and is located in the mountainous area. 4 or 5 sentences. So, what is your hometown like? Well, it's a very beautiful city. It is It is a big city, and it has a lot of facilities, good hospitals, I don't know, good universities. Everything is okay. There are not very tall buildings, one or two, and I'm sorry. And people are very nice and friendly. Because it is in the mountainous area, the weather is usually cold in winter and cool in uh, summer. It's okay. So, what do you like and dislike about your hometown?
Because that's if you go to the central city, it's a very crowded city. But if you go far distance from central downtown, you see some quite and you can choose where you want to go. So it's I like it because when you want to go to, for example, some towns besides the city central, because beside the downtown, it's easy to find the quiet place. So, but what I don't like about my city, it's a less park here, and you cannot find much more park here to entertain and talk with your friends. So that is my city's problem. You cannot find an entertainment place. So most of the time we go socially, and that is just the main place for entertainment. You can have extra place.
Yes, boring place. What would a tourist go to see in your hometown?
What you
What would a tourist go to visit or see in your hometown?
um, we have some museum. We have museum. I don't know if that's international or not, but it's great. Also, we have some mosques, traditional mosques, and some monuments, historical monuments. So uh, some tourists goes there, but lots of tourists comes here because of the hospitalities. People are hospital, and the hospitalities here, appealing for tourists. And maybe you can tourists offer from some people to go their home, and that is uh, that shows our uh, respect to tourists. So, uh, but it's tourists rarely comes to my city because there is no you know there is no advertising about my city. So, uh, but if you go back, Marco Polo when visit Tabriz talk about the beautiful city. So if somebody look at this, maybe interesting about my city.
Okay. Uh, how do people spend their weekends in your hometown?
As I mentioned before, because we are close to mountain, some people goes to climbing mountain. So and we have a great mountain here. There's some facilities there to reduce the problem you may be faced in a typical mountain. Uh, Also, some people go to swimming. We have lots of swimming pool in Tabriz, and also because I mentioned before,
Okay.
we
Don't make it very long. It is enough. But most of the people go
to mountain.
mountain, go mountain climb, and also they go swimming. Not go climbing mountain. Go mountain climbing. Go to swimming. No, go swimming. When go is used for location, I go to school. But when it is for entertainment, go fishing, go hiking, go mountain climbing, go swimming, so on, huh? So without to. Don't make it very long. Okay, what public transport is available in your hometown?
There are several transportation we have. Newly, we have a underground or subway. Which one is perfect?
Both of them are correct. Underground train is American, subway is British. You can
We
use
have a
both.
subway here, so newly that's created, and also the other, taxi, bus, or other transportation. Also, we have in Tabriz. So if you want to go, far distance from your city, also we have an airport. Easily, yeah, that's easily available. You can go there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You're reading book.
I
Well,
imagine some hesitation I have in my speaking. This is cause problem.
your speaking is good enough. You have occasional grammatical errors. Very rarely you have these mistakes, but I try to first give you time to understand the format of speaking. What you say now is okay, but I have some problems when you get very long. When it is too long, the interviewer is there for asking questions. So when you are too long, the interviewer gets irritated and frustrated. It can affect his scoring or her scoring. So my recommendation is don't make the first parts questions very long for the interviewer. When the interviewer wants to know about where you are from, well, I'm from Tabriz. It is a city in the northwest of my country, Iran. Finished. Rather than saying this answer, well, I am from Tabriz. It is a very beautiful and gorgeous and excellent and beautiful city in the northwest of Iran. People in this region speak Turkish. In fact, it is not Turkish, it is Azerbaijan Turkish, like people who speak in Azerbaijan country. The capital of that city is Baku. People there speak this Turkish Azerbaijan Turkish, and we because of the political problems we got separated from that country. It was those places where it belonged to Iran once, and now we people in Azerbaijan want to have the same country, but the government of Iran is Islamic, and they want to insist on their ideas, and it is a kind of ideological government. So I that's why I like to immigrate and go to Canada and live in a country there, because here we don't have enough income, and even if we cannot have a job. You see, Ashar, I am circling around myself. I speak very well. I speak with right grammar. I speak with the right intonation, but I get five in this IELTS interview. All right,
How about
you're
the some
out of
words?
topic. You're out of topic. The topic is a frame. We should be inside this frame. You asked a question I didn't get. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. For example, some words comes from the sentence and it's make it a little bit strong. For example, I have a kid speaking academy YouTube channel. And for example, he said, for example, I am mulling over this recently a lot, and I reckon then you want to speak about something. So, for example, I stumbled upon with something new. Uh, is it if you talk simple in the first, section, then in a third section you want to talk with a higher level of the speaking? Is it a problem?
Yeah. Uh, I need to share something with you to answer to you. It's not here. Let me see whether I have. A second. I see whether I can find what I'm looking for or not.
That's the last advanced.
I'm looking for some books of mine from Chisazon Institute. If I can't find it, I will find it for next time. Advanced 2, for example. This is our book, Unit 1. We need some books, for example. In fact, in this book, you can learn, for example, picturesque, tranquil, bustling, magnificent, ancient, deserted, unspoiled. For sure, we study some vocabularies and we learn them. We answer here, then in reading, we see these words again and again. And for sure, it is a part of speaking because we say, think of a snapshot, moment of a special vacation, think about where you were, what kind of vacation it was. Okay, but remembering all these vocabularies or what you said in your speaking is not an easy task. We need to activate it. We need to have some vocabularies like this. And after knowing the meaning of these words, we need to somehow do some exercise to know the shadow of the meanings of each. And finally, we need to have a topic and speak about it. It is what we do in Chistaza Institute for preparing students for IS. It should be a part of your knowledge in speaking. But um, this is unit 1, for example. This is unit 2, and justice. It's about justice. For example, free innocent brother, elderly neighbor, life sentence, fraudulent, had an alibi. For example, these are the words that we know. But first, you need to improve the knowledge of your vocabulary. And after improving your knowledge, you can somehow uh, activate it and try to use it. What happens for us as teachers? I explain it. Imagine that today Mr. Chisazan gives this book to me and says, go and teach it. I go and check the meaning of the words and their pronunciations. The words that I don't know, for example, or they're new for me. And I learn, okay, this is picturesque, means there's a place that you can take beautiful pictures or photos out of that. So I learn it and I remember it maybe for 30 minutes and 40 minutes and then I forget. Again, next time when I teach it, I repeat this word. Next term, Again, I repeat this term and then another term. After 4 terms, I don't look at the book. I know that on first page I have 6 vocabularies. One of them is picturesque, another one is tranquil, another one is this. I know these words. And then when I want to speak, they appear very fast. So if I ask you just to memorize some vocabularies for or some expressions for your speaking, by changing the topic of speaking, your hands are empty. You will go blank and vacant. You can't answer the questions. But when it comes to your knowledge, improving your vocabulary and improving the expressions that you said needs time. You should have a notebook and you should do this. Let me share my screen again. You should have a notebook and do this. For example, you see a new word. Let me say prone to, for example, prone to. You see this new word. If you like, you can say, you can write an example. For example, I am prone to something and write it. Then my suggestion is this. You should have 8 grids in front of this word 8 times. 6, 7, 8. Okay, today is 25th of Azar, Aban, what Mehr, Aban, 8. And you are memorizing. You started learning vocabularies. You have prone to, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. You have 10 words, for example. And then the first day you choose, you say, okay, prone to, I can't remember. What is the meaning of prone to? مستعد بوده. Okay, don't write it here, in fact. Write here, in this part of your notebook, مستعد بوده. Okay, clean it here. Then this one you remember, this one you can't remember, this one you remember, and maybe you have 10 words and you remember 50% of. This is 25th, so this is 25. Okay, maybe tomorrow you want to review them again. Okay, pronto, you can't remember. This one you can't remember. This one you remember, and then then 27. Pronto, you remember, but you don't remember this one. You remember this one, you don't remember. 28. You remember this one, you remember this one, and this one. 29, 30, first and second, and here when you see a word and you understand it 6 times, this is a part of your word. This is your word. And these two, for me, is a guarantee. You will remember all of them in this time. And with this technique, you can bring whatever to your speaking, the expression, vocabularies, anything, step by step. But imagine that I give you a sample. I say, Yashar, this is you, this is the interviewer. If the interviewer asks you, you say this word, and this word. If the interviewer changes to another question, you don't have these and you cannot speak. So rather than having a format for speaking, my idea is not having a format, but having a kind of knowledge to be able to create these formats by ourselves. So you can focus on your vocabulary. If you need more vocabulary, I can provide you a list of vocabularies. You can study them and you can use them in your speaking. Any questions?
No.
Did you get, yes, reading. Did you get what I wanted to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Also, this past one, which one, the collocation about, remembering collocation or some new phrase. It's very useful for me. I love this way to, learn some new vocabulary for writing also.
Exactly, exactly. Damn it. Okay, what is this? Stop sharing. Okay. Now I want you to look at page 558. Think.
The 552. I, you know, I rechecked it, but it's very hard to me. Again,
50.
I imagine that's a very hard one. He or she choose the hardest one to مثال تشریحی. Yeah. Uh, However, even for reading page 557, that is a little bit mistakes I made. For example, for a page 558, is it? Because that's in a separate page, I forgot about crowded airport. So I write it through, but it's not. Just because I forgot, I find the answer, but because I imagine in the IELTS examination, it's in front of you, the question and answer, the topic in front of you. Is it right?
Maybe.
Maybe it's in a you find your question in the next page. Oh.
What I remember, you are going to have a booklet like concours booklet for your reading. It's 3 readings, and maybe your readings are 2 pages. So what is what solution does the writer have for having your question on the same page? Impossible.
But for true, false, not given, because that's a one page just for writing. That's a for topic, and the next page for I booked for some mock test, and all of the time I saw the question and the topic in a one same page. You can see the question, also you can see the topic.
This is the ideal form. For example, on page 559, you can see the questions and you can see the text. But what if the text is longer than this in the real exam? They have to write it on another page. But you shouldn't pay attention to these sort of things, because if you get masters, you wouldn't understand. You asked me the question, I was thinking whether my question were on the same page or on another page. It means that I don't care. Even if my questions are on the board, I can find the solution to find my answers very fast. Huh? So don't care.
For a question 5, I couldn't understand. سوال میگه بالاترین کیفیت جواب میده، باید بالا باشه، اما به پولی که دادن هم دقت کنید.
صفحه
Our advice, page 557. Our advice.
Page 557 is the reading. You mean the question number 5, huh?
Number 5, yes. Number 5.
A local holiday should still offer some high quality service. مسافرت ها یا پکیج هایی که قیمتشون پایینه بایستی سرویس های با کوالیتی بالاتری به ما پیشنهاد بدن. So number 5.
Our advice, the end of our advice.
To be realistic, no one should be pumped off with a poor standard of service. It's okay. Food
That's
or
not high
accommodation,
standard. That is
if you
poor.
pay the rock bottom.
That's maybe we have an average standard also. That's a poor standard.
Let me read it. No one should be pumped off means to get rid of with a poor standard of service. Food or accommodation, even if you paid a rock bottom price for a last minute break. However, be responsible. You won't get a room with the best view in town if you've paid a budget price. Do complain to the right person, meaning to the waiter about the week's worth of appalling food than writing an indignant letter when you get back home won't have the same impact as raising your grievance. Do get evidence for a serious. Don't do it. Do this. Okay, the question says a low-cost holiday should still offer some high-quality services. What is your answer?
I said that's that is false or
That the
not given
answer is,
or not given.
Mhm. But the
True.
answer is true, huh?
Check it.
What is the answer?
True. No one should be palmed off. I don't know why should be true. That's he said. About the. That's not be poor. That's not. It doesn't mean the high standard. That's average standard. Maybe that's the average standard. That's not very poor, but that's not very high also. So why should low cost hotels should still offer some high quality service? That is, I don't know. Maybe that's not Cambridge. Is it right?
No, it is not.
Yeah, let's practice this.
But my understanding is, if I want to answer this question, I see even if you don't pay a lot of money, where is it? Last bottom price for a last minute break. Suddenly I decide to go somewhere to have a break. I check the tour and I find tour لحظه آخر and I reserve it with a cheap price. Now, no one should be pumped up with a poor standard or of service, food or accommodation. It means that they should give me a good standard of the things, not poor standard of the things.
Maybe average. Maybe that's not very high because you didn't pay
No,
much
the
more money.
question, the question is not average or something. دیگه چه düzdür ki mən axır ləhzə turu tutmuşam, axır təslimimdən gedən bir yeri var. Xub mənə gəlib zəif xədəmat verməyələr o puluma görə.
O mənada vermir ki, lap yuxarı. Ay,
İndi bu da bir low cost holiday should still offer some high quality services, not poor quality services. Average hardan deyirsiz siz?
poordur. Yəni deyib poor quality. Demir ki, məsələn, high quality. در مورد های da danışmıyor. Poor quality. Şayad məsələn
Axır cümlə mənfidir. Deyir ki, a low cost holiday should still offer some high quality. Deyir ki, o holidaylər ki, qiymətləri aşağıdır, gərək yenə də high quality servis verələr. İndi bu nə mənə deyir? Bu da deyir ki, bu ki siz axır ləhzə gəlib bir dənə turu tutmusunuz aşağı qiymətən, dəlili bu da ki, sizə zəif imkanat verələr.
Bəli ustad, biraz belə gic konəndədir. Yəni sual zəban incilisi sualı deyil. Eləmir məsələn.
Yaşar can, yes, no, not givenlar bu cüsüdürlər. Yəni bundan çox intizarınız olmasın suallarda.
Akademiklər çox vururam mən. Özdə teztər vururam, bilmirəm.
Xoş, general verəcəksiniz də siz akademikə fikirlər. Akademikin adı üstündədir də, akademik. Generalda elə hardan gəldi mət verərlər. Və xoş, bu şeylər də olar. Hala bunlar ki, Cambridge-dərlər çox üstəndə biz manor eləmərək. Çün o təvalı nəzəridir da bu. Ha? Bəli, Cambridge-də xoş standardıdırlar. Nə qədər standart olandan sonra belə xəri yes, no, not given bir dənə halət intizarisi vardı, yəni.
Adam təsəvvür deyir. Məsələn, sözün içində bir təsəvvürat hissi yaranır.
Arı, biz bir də məsələn oturmuşuq saatlər racibə bir dənə no, not given-i, məsələn 5 dənə ayəs ustad tutub bəhs eləmişik. Xoş, axırda da mən o qane eləyə bilmişəm, nə o mənə qane eləyə bilibdi. Deyir ustad, düzdür, cavab no-dir. Siz də toz versin, mən qane olma, mənə not given-dir bu. Danış. Qutundan sonra mənə not given-dir.
Bizə not given-də bu yes vurubdur. Mən false deyirəm, not given deyirəm, bu yes vurubdur.
Nə, bura deyir məbhəsən. Məbhəsən budur ki, uləmanın arasında da həmişə ixtilaf vardı bunların üstündə. Bu sualatın. Ona görə məmulən nömrəyi 9 qabili dəstəsləyir readingidə. Əgər siz şanssız ola, bir daha bu cür qələt sual gəlməyə biləcək, ehtimalı bu cür 9 gətirəsiz var. Məndə gedisiz bir dənə qələt sualla müvazih olursunuz, çox şirin baxsınız, buna deyirsiniz no. در حالی که خب برداشت متن ما دیگه من bir daha tur tutmuşam. Axir ləhzə hammam milyona mən 5 milyona almışam. Dəlbədər ki, mənim turumun keyfiyyəti aşağı olub. Bu da modi. Deyir low cost holiday should still offer some high quality. Yəni xop, bizim hədəfimiz low cost deyil ki, bu da deyir axərin ləhzədə axərin batımı vurursan. Xop 100% bu low cost deyirmiş. Sonra yenib gəlibdi, low cost olubdu. Bura zehnimiz gedəndə gəllik vururuq false not given filan. Ola gələt. Ancaq biraz critical-dılar da. Suallar şanssıza da rəbti vardı ki, inşallah düz çıxar. Çox da böyle siz ruy elmi, zəban başarmaq deyirlər. Dəqiq.
If you are, if you are not good at writing better, find someone to help you. Burada da iştibahen o backup halət oldu. Ondan oldu. Yox. O da çürükdün içinə. Yine bu yazıb ki, don't write complain. O da şeylə iştibahen.
Write and complain for the sake of it. It can be powerful as long as they are about something you have a good reason to complain about.
Sualın özünə iştibah olmuş. Sualı find someone to help you. Sonra da cümlədə də tamam. O da bir kere.
Xoş, heç bir nəfər tapın ki, sizə gəlsin naməyə yazsın. Nə mənə vurdu?
Ona yazmıyor. Ona göre bir şey yok.
Mövzu yoxdur ki, buna görə. Deyir, naməyə şikayəti yazmayın ki, fəqət bir xatirəm ki, naməyə şikayəti yazmış olam. Hardan dedim mən mənə ki, fəqət bunu yazmış olam.
Cümlənin içində də.
For the sake of it.
For the sake of it.
For the sake, yəni bir xatiri rızayı an. Xoş, rızayı an yəni mənə. Bundan ötürü ki, fəqət bu yazmayayım. Letters can be powerful as long as they are about something you have a good reason to complain. Deyir də qüdrətli olsun, əgər sizdə yaxşı dəlil zat üçün ondan complain edir. Xoş.
İyi ki, Musa da Fənzanoha da fəqət sual sahara gəlib yazmışam ki may be made up to 3 days in advance. It is essential to reserve. Güzel, bilgiler. Yani ben onu sual sahara true bulmuşam, böyle false'dır. Burada cümlədə yazır ki, mətnidə, Central Library-də yazır ki, booking qisməti booking-də paragrafı C-də 2000 sətirdə. Booking may be made up to 3 days in advance. Burada sualı çağır deyə, it is essential to reserve a computer 3 days in advance if you want to use it. Mən true vurmuşam, o false, cevap false'dır.
Maybe orada yazıb maybe, burada yazıb essential. O var sana, ona görə.
Maybe essential'dan bir də. Bir də olmuşdur.
Maybe, yəni şun qabaqdan da eləyə bilərsiniz, rezerv eləyərsiniz. Bəli, it is essential, yəni əgər o cür olmasa verməyəcəklər bilirsə. Xoş, qələt olar da. Sadə.
Biraz iki nədir də, məsələn, Gəl 3 gün qabaqdan eləyəsin, ha şayət.
Evet de, maybe de.
Maybe.
Maybe essential mı? Tezatlıdırlar birbirleriyle. Tezatlıdırlar.
Tamam. Usta bir daha o idi. Yani bir koyacağız.
Tunsa da şahıs.
Tunsa da şəxsdə sualı yekə usta. Çünki yox idi. Bir dəsə hədsiz vurdum ki, false olan, not even çıxdı. Yəni koldan hədsiyatdan getdim.
This üçün yok idi dedim. False olar, not given çıxdı da. Tapı sözdə yox idi.
Yox idi. Mən ehsas elədim cümlə şeydir. Məsələn, o mətnə ki oxuyurdum, qabağa gedirdim. Ehsas elədim bir sözləri ona mor ki yazır. Həds vurdu. Yadımdan istəsən not given də var məsələn.
Bildim acaba. Bildim acaba.
Burada da sualı pənzi baş tapanmamışam ki, false, not given, false yazmışam, not given'dır. Yazıb ki, paragrafı axırda 6-də. The college is also very popular with 16 to 18 years old who see as a practical alternative to a further 2 years at school. Buna baxanda, məsələn, adam sualı pənzi. Yazır ki, students under the age of 16 cannot attend any of the course offered by the college. The college is also very popular. Popular olur, bəli, burada yazıb not given. İmkan təhsillər yoxdur.
Sözüm داده من تحلیل edeyim de. دانش آموزان زیر 16 سال نمیتونن در درس هایی که کالج آفر میکنه شرکت کنن. The college is also very popular with 16 to 18-year-olds. خب بودی زیر 16 سال سوال. بودی 16 تا 18 سال. Who see as a practical alternative to a further 2 years at school.
Under bir dənə video görə. Under 16.
Well, under the age of 16.
Yəni orada rədd vermiş under. Sualı həftədə dərs sualı ağır kursdan aşkar subject bir şey ben ders sualını. Orada da usta bu çıktım ki there are fewer subject to study in the sixes from of the school than the college. Mətnədə yazıldığında tapmışdım mən iştibahəm. Yəni orada yazıb ki kollecdə çox dərdi mədrəsədən, burada yazıb ki mədrəsədə az dərdi kollecdən. Orada çox yazıb wide range of they can choose from a far wider range of subjects than it would be practical for a sixes from to offer. Usta tapdığım iştibahen üçün sual ayrıca yazılıbdır. Sualın mətni o birisindən fərqlidir. Kollecdə yazıb ki, mətnində yazıb çox dərdi kollecdə. Cavabda yazıb ki, mədrəsədə az dərdi kollecdə. O çırpın false vurdu sonra bizim turu. İştibahə.
Yuvarla mor orada fərq edir bir-birlərində ben. There are fewer subject to six. Bu formu der, ha from der. Forma ve üstte method da formadı. Six formadı. Six forma ve school then at the college. Hop, school'un six formunda subjectler az tərdiler.
College çox tərdi. Aşağıda yazıb ki, mədrəsə az tərdi collegedən. Elə həman söz olur, fəqət tərsəliyibdir, söz tərsəliyib.
Bəli. Yerlərini dəyişibdir.
Akademiklərdə usta vurmuşam. Akademiklərdə də fəqət doyun not given vurmuşam ki, false idi. Çox çətin şeydir.
Don cevabı falsedir. Səthi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 داده. The primary focus of attention in the 20th century has been on small scale societies. Buna mənə deyir, the 20th century collections come mainly from mainstream societies such as the US and Europe. خب deyir ki, سطح 3-dən oxuyuram. It is concerned with the people of Africa, the Americas, Asia, Pacific, and parts of Europe. While this includes complex kingdoms, as in Africa, and ancient empires, such as those of the America, the primary focus of attention in the 20th century has been on small-scale societies. Pes Amerikanın Europe da small scale idi.
Small scale nə mənə olursa, ya nə mənə mən small scale.
Keşfərai keçdilər də, mənzurdur böyük deyirlər. The primary focus attention 20th century روی کشورهای çok kiçikdilər. Da US ilə Europe deyirdi.
Has been on its own. Aha. Sualı şuradan. Get Sahara false, true from false idi.
False'dır.
Lesi
Concentrates on collecting single unrelated objects of great value. دیپارتمان تمرکز کلیک کردن چیزهای نامربوط مثلا تکی با ارزش بالاست. سوال
lesin görmədim. Mətnədə les görmədim o qismətində. Yəni less individual. Less individual.
Sadece vurmamışım, konu tapımda, bilmem hardadır.
Ustad, paragrafı doda 2 sətri axırı, sətri aşağıdan 2000-ci sətrdədir ki, yazır ki,
Yes. The focus is less on individual, görürsünüz.
On individual. O less on individual ise individual da olmuştum ki, object. O da ortadan 3'də 7, o less'ler. False'dan da true, sualı 7'de de many small eşyalı societies have survived and adapted in prediction to the country. Ustad, onda da
Sual həftənin cavabı 562-da 5-in içində 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ci sətirdən başlayır. Sual
deyir, bu assimilation məni şəkkə saldı. Yəni sətirdə program would rapidly lead to the disappearance or assimilation of many small eşyalı societies. O small societies'i burada gördüm. Bütün assimilation olur, disappearance and assimilation olur.
Okay, mən oxuyum, yadımda dəyəcək baxam. Many small-scale societies have survived and adapted in spite of predictions to the contrary. خیلی از جوامع کوچک تونستن بمانند و and adapted پیشبینی هایی که برعکس این بود qalmayacaqlar. With the independence of much of Asia and Africa after 1945, it was assumed that the economic progress would rapidly lead to the disappearance or assimilation of many small-scale societies. خب bu پیشبینlik də orada veribdir də. On the contrary, پیشبینliği budur. Ya disappearance olacaqlar, ya idğam olacaqlar o birisi kişilərlərinə canım. Therefore, it was felt that the museum should acquire materials representing people whose art or material culture, ritual, or political structures were on the point of invocable change. This attitude altered with the realization that marginal communities ama small-scale communities
Ben orada assume assumed-u görməmişəm. Yəni it was assumed the economic progress would assumed-u görsəydim usta, olar bu prediction olar, assumed prediction.
Add up in a partial interrogation into a notoriously fickle world economy.
Bunlar cürlənəcəklər və murur zaman. Çünki də mənim xətalarım elə sadə düzgün.
Xətaları sadədirlər və gözünüzdən qaçırlar, diqqətinizi çoxaldasınız. Murur zamanla bəli, diqqəti çoxaldıqca rahat cavab verəcəksiniz. Əlbəttə mənim çox intizarım yoxdur akademiklərdən, biraz çox generallardan niyə? Qələt uzazılı üçün çox çətin deyil.
Akademiklər 80% vururam, generalları 60% vururam.
Bərəks ola da. Desəydik akademik lazımdır, imtahan verərsə, generallar sət verər, düz akademiki istəyirsən. Xoş, 564-a cavab verirsiniz.
Cavab vermişəm. Burada da usta bir dənə fəqət sualı C-yə qələt vurmuşam.
The dingo is indigenous to Australia. Bilmirsiniz niyə? Yaxtaraq tapaq. Mən əlamət...
Mən şurada və nə ki, yox usta tapamadım. Sualı C.
Sualı C ilə mənə cavab verirsiniz.
Mən aktivim vurmuşam, nodur usta.
Xoş, dingo tapın. The dingo started out as a quiet observer. Rice Ronald filan. In a very elegant animal. The dingo, but soon came to represent everything that was dark and dangerous on the continent. It is estimated that since sheep arrived in Australia, dingo numbers have increased 100-fold. Though dingoes have been eradicated from parts of Australia, an educated guess puts the population at more than 1 million. Eventually, government officials and graziers agreed that one well-maintained fence placed on the outer rim of sheep country and paid for by taxes levied on wool growers should supplant the maze of private netting. By 1960, 3 states joined their barriers to form a single dog fence. The dingo is indigenous to Australia. Mən bir şey görmədim. Məcən ki, gözümüzdən qaçmış ola. Ayrıca dingo yoxdur.
Mən aktivim vurdum, ne oldu lazım? Dingo was introduced to Australia more than 3,500 years ago, probably with Asian seafarers.
Dəqiqən burada. Introduced olub da. Native deyil.
Introduced, was introduced.
Sual 4 idi. C idi.
Bir de sualı bu təmrini C-yə koddan cevaplarını yazmayın. Ayrı bir şeyler.
Ötün o reading biri yer iştibah uşaqlar ucunda deyildir. Rədd olun. Rədd olun. Xoş, haracan cavab verirsiniz bunları?
Hamımıza unutmuşam. Multiple choice'lar multiple choice'a getirmişim.
Yaxşı, gələncə də sən yadınmasan multiple choice baham işləyək.
Bir de usta, sualım var. Deyir ki, bu çitsazını nəzərdə səftinam edeyim termik nəşi qalan şey bir də, yəni oxuyan bir xatir ki, məcbur olan. Nəzərdə mənə.
Lazım üzdür.
Belə tərtib fişar olum ki, məsələn, məcbur olum reading oxuyam. Yəni, bir də qramerli əzadda hərdən təhti fişar, məsələn, ustadlar şahid, məsələn, təhti fişar halətdə imtahan zadı ki olur, gah imtahan verir.
Sən o vaxt IELTS lazımdır.
Mən IELTS nə qədər teztəlik belə yaxşı tərdə. Bu il nəm olsaydı yaxşı olardı.
Hələ yetir. Eləyə bilərik, bilmirəm. Baxın, IELTS alən yaxşı tərdir. Eləyə bilərik. Biraz gedək qabağa. Bir də IELTS nömrəsi çıxsın beləcə vaqiiyyətə. Mən fikrim nömrəsi gələcək də. Listening gücü bilmirəm, neyniyəsiz, güzarış verin, mən biləmə. Writing gücü yaxşıdır, reading gücü yaxşıdır, speaking gücü də yaxşıdır. Nömrəsi gələcək. Nömrənizi alın, qon başının altına, harada yazılısınız, yazılın oxuyun. Çünki istəmirəm zehniniz dağıla buradan, oradan, bura. Bilirsiniz? Biz ələn salmışıq sizi bir daha məsajla gedirsiniz. Müəssisə mükalimə məhvərdir. Ondan sonra bilmirəm kiminlə geyib oxuyacaqsınız. Mühimmidir biləmə vaqən siz kimin otursunuz kilasında indi. Biz bir zaman biləmizə mühim dədi dedik, hamı birdir. Ələn teydə çoxaldıqca biraz fərq edir də. Zaten o şey heç bizim ürəmizdən geçir, şayad ittifaq düşməyə. Mən heç kilasına müxalif deyirəm. Yəni savadımızı çoxaldar. Ben uşaqlarım bildi, mən takşo kilasında oturum deyə müxalif deyirəm. Bəli, indi yox. İndi yox. İndi sizi biz zehninizin hər nə mənə ki gəlmişsiniz mənim yanıma. Mən bu cür nərodan eləmişəm, salmışam, bir daha gəl tərənnüsü ilə gedirsə qaba. Söymürəm zehniniz dağılsın. Sizin ələn ingilisiniz yaxşıdır. Əgər qramerdə müşkülünüz varsa olsun deyim mən. Çoxları təmrin istəyirsə təmrin verim, kitab deyirsə kitab verim. Bəli, şey eləməyin, məsciddən özünüzü atmayın eşiyə. Mənim nəzərim budur. Hala sizin də nəzərinizə ehtiram qayılım. Əgər hiss edirsiniz ki, çox tərm olacaqdır, biləcək ki.
Siz də qəşət istəm, həm də qalan formuda, yəni bəzən kəttə IELTS-i verdim, formuda qalan. Hətta məsələn, əgər bir qolda 2 ilə canlı məsələn adam eləmə, formuda qalsın, bir dənə IELTS öyrəsi ilə içinə qeydsin.
IELTS-i verin, çünki mən deyirəm də, biz salmışıq siz bir məsələ ki, mən çox tezliyindən IELTS-i dəstəs görürəm biləcə, tez. IELTS-i verin ki, inkilasa, əslən qət eləməyin, takşoya gedin, mükalimiyə gedin. Mühimdir ki, siz o məsələ tapmışsınız ki, hardan. Bunlar hamısı belə təqviyyət zəbanınızdır, belə bu ki, çoxlar öyrəşəsizdir. IELTS aldığınızda mədini ifazəyə girməmişsiniz, hələ feyləndə nə qədər fasiləmiz vardı. İngilisi, lab yuxarı sətənə. Ki, mənim uşaqlarım bir Avustraliyada speaking işləyirik biləsi ilə. IELTS-də alıb gedibdir, mühacirətdə edib 2 ildir oradadır. Pəs bu dəlil və bir də ki, biz öyrəşməyək. Öyrəşəcək. Bəli, qoyun. Bundan nəticə alaq. Çünki bunlar fərqlidir əslən. Sistem fərqlidir mükalimə kilasına. Şəkər bu təs mən mükalimə kilasında ki, əsasən 2 ayrı adamdır elə bir tədris edirlər bir-birlərinə. Model fərqlidir. Çıxmayın məsəlizdən, IELTS-i alıb gedin kilasa, hətmən gedin, hətmən gedin.
Səftinam edin, qəti fişar gələr tapım, yox səftinam eləməyim IELTS-i.
IELTS-ə icazə verin, mən yetişim o yerlərə ki, lazımdır. Orada deyəcəm səftinam edin. Bir dənə maka deyəcəm, yazılım, bir dənə də deyəcəm ki, əsl imtahandan o vaxtda yazılım. Təhti fişar, baxın, readinglərimiz qutulur, listeningimiz də qutulur. Təbii biz Cambridge-in kitablarını vurandan sonra gələcəksiniz mak imtahanı verərsiniz. Az qalırıq, çox dəyəri. Çox dəyəri. Bilmirəm. Maka yazılısız yazılım. Bəli, dayanın mən deyim də, özünüz təhsim tutun. Bəli. Mən sizdən sonra huzuruda kilasım, tez çıxam, çox məzət.
Mən o bir səftiyə mənə amadə edeyim desəz olar.
Writing yazın, listening vurun. Çünki readingi feylən deməmişik biləcək. Əgər ayrı təmriniz vardır readingə bu tipdə, bunlardan vurun, hətmən vurun. Biləviz internetdən götürəsiniz, ya ayrı kitabınız əgər vardır, IELTS-ə görə bu tip readinglərdən vurun, writing yazın, yollayın biləmə, bunlardan çox oxuşuq və listeningizi vurun. Lüğətlər çox oxuyursuz həm zaman hətmən.
Görüşək.
Görüşək. Mersi, Xudahafiz.